This is the Redmi Note 13 Pro, a phone that comes packed with a ton of high-end features, the highlight of which being the 200 megapixel main camera lens. But there are so many other things going on with the 13 Pro. For example, the price tag, $299, is again very intriguing. So we're going to split this review into three key sections. You'll have design and build, performance, and then cameras. So why wait? Let's get right to it. Let's talk design and build of the Redmi 13 Pro, well, Note 13 Pro. These names, honestly. Anyway, the design is, as you'd expect, and has become sort of an indie standard, a more boxy, squared off finish. And to be honest with you, in this particular aura color, it looks really, really good. Like, I love the design of the Redmi Note 13 Pro. Especially, highly recommend this aura color because it gives it that funky finish on the end of the camera lenses. It looks really good, to be fair. Flat display, pretty thin borders all around, to be honest. Again, looks really, really good. We'll get to the screen tech in a second, and then let's walk around the device itself. So you get the volume up and down key, power button. On the top, you got a 3.5mm jack, IR blaster, and a speaker. And then on the bottom, you've got the USB-C port, which will charge at 67 watts. Plug included, amazing. And then you have another speaker, and then where your SIM card will go. So it's just a one panel here that has nothing, but overall design, fit, feel, finish feels really good. It's not the highest end materials, obviously, as you'd expect. It's predominantly plastic, it's not titanium or a metal or anything like that. It is still well built though, feels good, feels sturdy in the hand, feels well built. So in terms of a design aesthetic, it is a massive win-win. This is a lovely phone in the hand. In the week or so that we've used it, no issues at all in terms of slippery or anything like that. There is a case in the box as well, to be fair, if you need it to be, but we always tend to use our phones without any cases. And yeah, this is a really nice feeling phone. Surprising this costs just £299. Let's talk performance of the Redmi Note 13 Pro. So it's powered by a Snapdragon 7S Gen 2, love the names, and then you get 8GB of RAM and you get the 120 Hz. So those are sort of like the highlight features when it comes to performance, but when you combine them all together, what you get is an incredibly smooth, almost flagship-esque experience. So scrolling, for example, if you're just browsing the internet, reading an article, whatever have you, it is butter smooth. There are some moments of slowdown. That's going to happen in pretty much anything because there's app compatibility issues with 120 Hz. But generally speaking, although it's not an LTPO panel, it still runs incredibly well. That 7S Gen 2 Snapdragon processor is built on a 4nm architecture, so it's a newer processor as well. And it shows it complements the device and the 120 Hz incredibly well. So if you're reading text, looking at images, shopping, emails, whatever have you, it all runs just as you'd expect. Very smooth, not what you'd associate with a $299 price tag. And then if we shift across to probably one of the more standout features, which is a display, AMOLED, acclaimed, 68 billion of colors, and Dolby Vision. When you're watching back content, it is pretty saucy, I'm not gonna lie. You get excellent color reproduction, vibrant colors, everything sort of pops off the screen. It's a really good media device to watch, and the borders themselves are pretty thin as well. So what you are seeing is not much in the way of huge chins. So screen real estate, as they say, is very good. And then lastly, sound. Now, surprisingly, the 13 Pro comes with speakers that fire from the top and the bottom. When we first used it, we thought it was just coming through like the mic at the top, but no, it's actually dedicated top and bottom speakers. And the sound quality, do you know what? You tell us, you listen and you tell us what you think. Comment below and let us what you know about the sound quality of the Redmi Note 13 Pro. The cameras, Redmi Note 13 Pro. 200 megapixel main lens, 8 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel macro. But how does this all translate? What is that camera system doing, and what do the photos, etc., look like out of the camera? In general, very good. Good depth, good quality. However, one small issue, oversaturation. It is smashing out the colors on this phone. So winter's day in Wales here, and it's making it look like it's summer, which it definitely isn't, which is a shame. But beyond that, it's a pretty good camera system. Portrait mode is pretty good as well. Bit of artifacting around the sides, but generally speaking, you'll only really see them if you're really looking for the detail. But generally, out of camera portrait modes are pretty good. Night shots, again, blurry a bit noisy again, which is a shame considering the 200 megapixel camera, but generally again passable, more than good enough for what you expect from a phone that costs less than $300. But we spent a lot of time talking about how this phone has a 200 megapixel camera. Why don't we compare it, in fact, to another 200 megapixel camera phone? And that's the S23 Ultra, which we have here, which is our main sort of day-to-day device. Yes, we're not moving to S24 Ultra because it doesn't make sense, it's pointless. And how do they compare? Shot for shot, video for video. Well, you're now seeing some samples, and actually what you'll see is the key differences between a 200 megapixel camera that sits in the mid-range and a 200 megapixel camera that sits in the high end. And a lot of that is to do with the way it processes and its apertures. Generally what you'll find with the S23 Ultra in pretty much every shot you take is you'll get better quality, better overall performance, more realistic photos, and just more detail in pretty much everything. There's less oversaturation, there's a more real to life color and truly reflective of what's going on in that moment when you're taking that photo or video. But overall, I would say the Redmi Note 13 Pro's camera system is very, very good. Nothing that can't be fixed in a cheeky little software update, and that could then sort out the performance of the Note 13 Pro's 200 megapixel main camera, and we could be onto something pretty special. So the Redmi Note 13 Pro, there is so much to like. Design and build, price tag, performance, cameras. In general, there's not much wrong here with the Redmi Note 13 Pro. I mean, if we talk about things that we would say are a miss, I think the biggest miss from our point of view is the fact that it's not preloaded with HyperOS, which is Xiaomi's or Redmi's, whatever you want to call it, newest OS, which weirdly, we reviewed the Poco X6 Pro and it was on that, but it wasn't on this, even though this came out later here in the UK. Pretty odd system and a weird miss, but that will come in a future software update. But buying something for a future software update is a bit of a no-no for us, but it will come, they've guaranteed it'll come. And then you've got wireless charging, that's a miss, and it's only IP54 dust and water resistant. Some of those are kind of irrelevant, we're not really all that bothered about wireless charging. The IP rating, something that we probably would say it would be great if it was IP67 rated. But overall, the Redmi Note 13 Pro is an incredibly intriguing device. You get excellent build, great design, good camera performance, and there's so much here to love. I think this phone, if you were to buy it today, over time, say the next 6 months, this phone will just get better and better and better. There's tons to look at. Software updates will fix oversaturation in color, and then HyperOS coming along will again add a better overall performance boost in terms of usability, etc. as well. And then you got your generic normal software updates. So the Redmi Note 13 Pro, I think, is probably a device that you'd want to buy if you're looking for a smartphone below $500, because up to $500, this along the Poco 6X Pro is going to be pretty difficult to beat. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, until the next one, we out.